We're going to keep things moving here on the program. We're joined by a gentleman. As a matter of fact, he's in his 9th season as the head football coach at BYU. The Cougars ranked number 9 in the country in off week. Of course, going to prepare in a couple of weeks for the game, or really next week for the game against Utah. And I tell you what, that should be a really good football game. Kalani Sitake is the head football coach at BYU, joins us here on the program. Coach Sitake, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to talking to you.
Absolutely. Me too. So let's talk about the win over UCF. Your thoughts on the Cougars' victory?
Well, it's a cool game. I mean, I love being in that environment. Obviously, my wife being from Polk County down in Florida and you know, being able to see the in-laws. But we had a good following of fans that showed up for the game. And you know, it was good. We knew watching on film that we would need to be at our best against UCF. They took Iowa State all the way down to the you know, last minute, and so and you know, the things that they did pose a lot of problems, especially after we gave up a lot of yards in the quarterback run game against Oklahoma State. And so we knew that this was going to be an adjustment, that we'd have to be at our best. And I thought the guys played really nicely. I thought they played great effort. It wasn't error free, but man, I like the way our guys play. I like the way that they do it together, and I'm glad that we were able to get the win and get that victory and saw rocket launch, all that fun stuff down in that area. And yeah, I'm just really grateful that these guys keep playing the right way, man. It's been a lot of fun to coach.
You know, you're no stranger to coming east, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. Now, there must have been some torn loyalties from a family perspective for this football game.
Well, I mean, they better not tell me. You know what I mean? Because no, the family. I think the families they're all with me. I met my wife at the BYU, so met my wife at BYU. I'm from Hawaii. She's from Florida, and it makes a lot of sense that we live right in the middle of that. And but you know, I have a lot of affection and appreciation for the Florida area, for that area, and my in-laws have been so amazing to me. So it was just great to get out there and play that game and to have them be there and cheer for us to get the victory. But I like being able to go at different places and have our fans show up. Just have so much appreciation for them sacrificing their time and energy and money to come watch us. And I hope they know how much our players appreciate and how much myself as a head coach really appreciate and love them.
No doubt. Second season, of course, in the Big 12. 8-0. You got a number 9 ranking. Your thoughts on how your team has played so far overall this season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've done some really good things, and I think every week we've been able to get better. I still like to see us play our best game on this 9th game, you know, and I just like that we've been able to win different ways, and that we've had just it's been team wins the entire time. We've needed all 3 phases to function, and at times one phase out of the 3 would be maybe the catalyst for us, and it's a good compliment and basically a good compliment to and mention that I have to give shout out to all our coaches that have been able to do that, and the ability to have this complementary football on our team, and to have so much cohesion between the 3 phases has been amazing for me to see as a head coach. And I think it's giving us the unity and the togetherness that we need to get these wins. And so I'm looking forward to the next one, but I've been really proud of the way the team has been performing, and the belief that they have and the love that they have for each other.
First year in the Big 12 was last year, 5-7 record. And now you look at where you are, top 10 ranking in the country at number 9, undefeated on the season. Speak to sort of the turnaround from 23 to 24. I guess maybe you all were just kind of getting acclimated to Big 12 football.
Well, I think you go back to culture, and you go back to your system that you have in place. I'd like to think that we've been very consistent as a program in teaching our young men, and the expectations that we have of them, the standard that we expect them to function at. And when you go through that, everybody wants to say, well, what was the difference between this year and last year? We've been really consistent in how we teach, but really consistent in how we want to approach our players, the relationship that we have for them, and even us giving them that chance to empower themselves. The game of football is, you can't predict it. You know, you have an opponent that cares and loves the game just as much as you do. But I think if we focus on the result of the game, then you don't get your best. And so for me, it's like just you have an opportunity asking these young men. What we've been able to lean on heavily is that we want them to appreciate the opportunity they had to play this game. Nothing's going to be given to you, but you should appreciate and show gratitude that you get to play this game of football. And there's so many people that sacrifice for you to be here, that you might as well enjoy it and do the best that you can. And not just in the game, but even during the prep. And you might as well relish all those moments that people can see that is tough or that you may think is difficult, but just know that you're doing it for a reason, and that a lot of people, a lot of thoughts, prayers, and tears and hopes are in you just doing your part. And your part is just maximizing the potential and the possibilities that you have here, the options that you have. And they represent more than their family. When you put it that way, the love that we have for them, that I have for them, and our coaches have for them, and we have for each other, it's unconditional. So that means I have to love them no matter what the result of the game is. But you have to live by it, and I really believe we've been able to do that. And then that builds motivation and allows these young men to truly see that they can enjoy themselves, be at their best self, and play the game the right way. We all got into this game because we loved it when we're young, and for some reason, you play your best when you're loose and having fun.
No, I had to chuckle just a bit there, right? Because I know last year, I know you got to love them, but I know sometimes you I guess you have to kind of take that attitude. But I know, last year there may be some difficult times loving them, if you will.
Yeah, but love doesn't always mean that everything is happy-go-lucky. There's correction too. If you're a parent, love doesn't mean you just let your kids eat candy for dinner. You have to be able to, but you have to be able to spend time. That's the key. You have to spend time, and you have to show that you care. Time is the way you show care, and that you care, and educate them in ways that they can learn. There was a time that I was young where I thought I'd never stop watching cartoons or eating cereal, right? And you start to learn that there's actually benefits from eating other foods, and that's part of experience in life. But it'd be nice if you have a mentor that helps you along the way, and I had that with my family, with my father, and so these young men are going from a transition from a young man to an adult, so they need someone that's been there before, but it doesn't mean that you don't have correction or you don't have criticism, but it also means that you should have praise. And so that happens where if you're a parent, you love your children unconditionally. It doesn't mean that you love everything that they do, but your job is to keep teaching them and to let them know that regardless of what happens, that you're going to be there for them. That's our job as coaches. And I found that if I can be a better parent and a better husband, then I can be a better coach, and it goes back and forth. And so I've been able to have an amazing staff that does the same thing, and the players, they thrive in that environment.
Very well said. That's the voice of BYU head football coach Kalani Sitake, as the Cougars rank number 9 in the country. Bye week, he joins us here on the program, 8-0 on the season. Speak to your quarterback, Jeff Ratzlaff, and how he's played so far this year. He's put up some pretty solid numbers.
Yeah, Jake's been a really good player for us, and I like the leadership that he has. I think he's understanding the game, and maybe last year when he was kind of put on the scene, it was we had the 4 games, but we had a quarterback that got hurt, and he was kind of just thrown on the field, and it was some growing pains for him, but he did some wonderful things too. The thing that I love about him is that he's always going to give the best effort that he can, and that's on and off the field. And so when you have that you can work with, I think only positive things can happen. And we've seen it. We've been able to see how he's super humble, and he works with his teammates well. But he also realizes that he doesn't have to do it all by himself, that he can rely on his teammates to help him, and they can do it together. But I like the command that he has on the offense, the growth that he's made, but the humility that he shows by learning from his teammates and from his coaches. It's been amazing to have him on this team, and he's perfect for what we want in a teammate, but but definitely as a quarterback, and I just like his personality and his character. It speaks to what he's doing on the field.
Take you back a little bit to the 2020 season. I thought it was a very important football game that BYU and Coastal Carolina played. You came way from Utah to come and play this football game. You weren't on the winning end, but it was just a really good, solid football game, a game really that was needed in the time of the height of COVID. Can you speak to that and what you remember about that game?
Yeah, I just remember we wanted to play games, and it was the time where a lot of people were canceling their seasons or weren't able to play in certain games, and we had an administration that was committed for us to go play football games. And this one happened late in the week, and I think it just happened so quick that we didn't have a lot of time to prep. But who cares? We want to play the game, and we knew that it would be a risk with not enough time for prep on both sides, So we made the trip out to Coastal Carolina, played that game. It was a lot of fun. We came 1 yard short of winning the game, but what a cool environment. Their fans are super excited that we were there, and it just felt good to play the game with fans in the stadium. And I would say that it sucked that we lost the game, but you can't complain about the opportunity to keep playing the game. I think it was a good decision by us. You don't get anywhere by trying to protect yourself with the schedule. These guys want to play the game, and everybody works super hard so they can get the opportunity to play the game. They don't work super hard so they can only win the game. And when you play this game, there's a risk that you may not come out victorious, but the opportunity to play the game itself is an experience that you can't replicate anywhere. So I'm glad our players had that opportunity to play that game, and it was a really cool opportunity for us to go out there and play that game and do something that hasn't been done before. And we know that if we need to on a short time's notice, we can go make a game up and play it, and that's pretty cool. It felt like backyard football again, where you can call everybody up in the neighborhood and say, "Hey, show up here. Game time is this time," and we'll just show up and play the game and have fun. And that it was a fun game, even despite the loss.
Yeah, no doubt about it. A couple of more thoughts with Kalani Sitake. He's the head football coach at BYU, joining us here on the program. The first Tongan FBS football coach. What does that mean to you?
Well, I'm super proud of my heritage and where my family and my ancestors come from, and just happy that we had the opportunity to be in this country and to play this game, and that I was able to get a college education as well as my father and our family, my siblings. And so, we're honored to be here and to represent ourselves. I love being a citizen of this country and what we stand for. And so it's been a lot of fun to be able to play. I mean, I'm living a dream. I grew up a BYU fan. I got to play for the legend Lavelle Edwards. I got to be a captain as a fullback, which doesn't really happen often, and I played in a pass happy offense. And then I got to play for the legend, be a captain for him. And then I got into the coaching profession and got to come back here as the head coach at BYU. And so I'm living a dream right now, man, and can't complain. But I'm glad that people like myself can look and aspire to do whatever their dreams are. And this was definitely a dream of mine. You combine that with marrying a wonderful partner, my wife, and Timberly, and the kids that we were able to get, our 4 children, and all the mentors that and friends that I've been able to be, associated with, and then people that I consider family. So it's a dream come true, and I'm in a position where, nobody pinched me right now. I'm enjoying it.
Last thought, Coach, and we really appreciate the time. Next game again in a week is going to be at Utah. Big time football game. Utah, a place you're extremely familiar with. Speak to twofold questions. Speak to that game, the magnitude of that game, and then your relationship with the head football coach there at Utah, Kyle Whittingham.
Of course, yeah. I worked there as a linebacker coach and defensive coordinator for 10 years, for a decade, and but the interesting thing is I played here at BYU. I have family. I have a sister and an older brother that I know my older brother played at Utah, so we played against each other. But me and my younger brothers played here at BYU, and my sister went to Utah. So we have kind of this connection to both schools already. And then I got to coach there for an amazing coach, Kyle Whittingham, who's a legend himself. And he's a former BYU player. So we're up there coaching, and I get to meet amazing people up there at Utah, and fans and faculty, staff, coaches, players. It was an amazing experience. I can't complain about it. And that helped me become the coach that I am today. And without Utah, I wouldn't be here at BYU. And I mentioned without BYU, Coach Whittingham wouldn't be at Utah. So this is a really cool, unique experience for me. But if you look at it, and you look at families in this rivalry, it's not unique when you see that the families they cheer for different sides too. We haven't had this game in a while, and I've said this before earlier this week, that the absence of the game when BYU was in independence and Utah went to the Pac-12 and we weren't in the same conference anymore, didn't allow us to have this game as consistently as we've been used to. And so we've been absent from the game since 2021. And when you have these type of rivalries, and you all of a sudden it's not there anymore, maybe we took it for granted a little bit, and it's become really hostile and toxic in some ways. And I'd like to see it become a little bit more civil, and because we need each other. Now we're both in Power Conference. We get to compete as rivals in the Big 12. Who would have saw this coming? And what we're here now. I think we can do this game with a lot of appreciation and respect for each other. We definitely want to win. I know myself, we want to win here, and I know Coach Whittingham wants to win at Utah, and I know their fans want them to win. But regardless of the result of the game, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have just as much love and appreciation for Utah as I did before. And I know that Kyle would feel the same way, and there's a lot of people on both sides that would feel the same way. And because we've missed each other, and now we're reunited, we can do it. We can do it, but do it even better.
Very well said. Kalani Sitake, the head football coach at BYU. Of course, the Cougars ranked number 9 in the country on a bye week, 8-0 on the season. The next opponent, however, is Utah, gracious enough to join us today here on the program. Coach Sitake, really appreciate the time. Continued success to you and the Cougars.
Thank you. Aloha. Go Cougs.